Okay, let's talk about Docker Desktop for Windows. Now, I already have it installed on my system, and we're going to look at it here in just a few minutes. But I wanted to talk about the installation process just a little bit. I'd walk through the installation process, except that I've already got multiple components installed on my system, so it's not going to give us anything valid. But let me show you where you go find it. So I'm here on docker.com, and from docker.com, I can go to products. I didn't want to click on products. I can hover over products, which will bring this pop up, and then I'll come down to Docker Desktop right here and click on that. And that will open up the Docker Desktop page for me, where this is my link to download. I can choose a plan if I don't have one. It'll show me some screenshots and talk about Docker Desktop a little bit. One thing to keep in mind, and you should be aware of this, is Docker Desktop does give you a desktop interface, but it also includes a Docker CLI. Okay, I'm going to click on download, or not click on, just hover over download for Docker Desktop, and then you can download for Mac on Apple Silicon or Intel chips, for Windows on AMD 64 or ARM 64, and then a download for Linux. So you download it. Be forewarned, it will take a little while to download. It's not horrible, but it will take a little while to download, and then you run the installation. Now, like I said, I can't do the installation because I already have it done on the system. But let me give you just a couple of things to be aware of. Typically, when you do the installation, you're going to determine whether you want to use WSL, which is a Windows subsystem for Linux, or if you want to use Hyper-V. If you want to use Linux containers, you need to use WSL. And there are a lot more Linux containers, so that probably is worthwhile. So make sure, and it defaults to using WSL. So you'll do the install, it will reboot your computer. When you reboot your computer, it's going to come up and ask you to sign into your Docker account or create a Docker account if you do not have one. It's also going to prompt you to typically either install or update WSL, unless you're already running the most current version of WSL2, in which case it doesn't bring that up at all. That you're going to have to do with command line, so you're going to open a command prompt with administrative permissions, and I believe the command is WSL-install or WSL-update. And then that will take a little while to install. So this whole process is going to eat up a little bit of time. Once you get that done, you'll log into your account. It'll take you out to the website to do it. And then it'll say, hey, you can return back to Docker Desktop. And once you have done all of that, here is your Docker Desktop app. Now, remember, as this comes up, that we also have all of our Docker commands. Let me go to the containers here, and we're just going to start over from the beginning and see what this looks like. This is where you should come in after you've logged in. So, a little information here. Your running containers will show up here. We don't have any. Here you can look for different types of containers. How do I run a container? Remember, you do have, let me open up my terminal here. Right click and go to, let me just do a standard terminal, and I can issue all of my Docker commands. So Docker PS will show me all of my running Docker containers, and I have nothing on here. But the idea is that you do have all of your Docker commands available, as well as your desktop. So let's take a look. This shows us all of our running containers, and this is where we default to. We have images where we can search for images. Again, more information down here, more links to more information about Docker. This will, let me come back to images real quick. This will show you your local images, and these are going to be the images on your hub. And these are a couple of things I've done previously and uploaded. So all of your hub images will show up here as well. And this, just your local ones. We'll talk about how to find one in a little bit. Logs, pretty straightforward, all of your Docker logs. This lists all of your volumes. Again, I've got a brand new install here, so I have no volumes created. I have no images downloaded. You have Kubernetes if you want to enable Kubernetes on this. You've got Docker builds if you have any of those created. And then right here is your Docker hub. And this is where you will go find images. And so you'll have different categories of images here. Most of the time what you're going to do is you're actually going to look for an image. So one of the first ones we reference is going to be the Hello World image. So I'm going to do a search for Hello World and hit enter. And this is going to pull up my Hello World image, and you're going to see anything that's related to it. So this is an example of Docker minimalization, of minimal Dockerization. There we go, get the words in the right order. I want that, so I'm going to click on that, and this is going to give me my overview and then show me some tags related to it. This page will give us a bunch of information about images typically, this being one of them. So I can also choose right here which version do I want, and then I can pull or run. Now, just like using Docker Desktop or Docker command line, pull downloads the image, but it doesn't actually build anything off of it. Run does both. So I'm going to go ahead and click run, and it's pulling Hello World latest, and then I can set the container name if I want. So we're just going to do this as sample, although frankly I think the ones they come up with are more entertaining. And no ports that need to be exposed. If the image requires ports, you're going to have options here when you go to run it. Options for ports to expose or volumes you want to create, things like that. So I'm going to click run, and this is going to run my Hello World. And here it is, my container name sample, Hello World latest, logs, inspect the container, look at bind mounts for the container, execute commands to run in the container, which is already closed, so that's not a factor. Container is no longer running, so I can't show the files. Remember, Hello World just runs and then closes. And then stats. So this shows me what actually happened. Hello from Docker, and it ran. Okay, beautifully. So I now know that this my sample container is running. Up here it gives me my status, and then I can start the container, restart the container, or delete the container. So I start the container, it runs again. Again, it's Hello World. It'll display some information saying, hey, this worked, and then stop. So that's about all. Now, notice, by the way, I'm back on my containers here. So if I click on my containers, so I was in this container where I can, and I just clicked on it. So from here, I can click on my container, see what happened to it, take me back to that page where we were at before. This shows me all of my containers, my name, my container ID, my image, any ports, and then CPU usage and when it was last started. And here are my actions. Start it, show container actions, or trash the container. If I go to my images now, I see my Hello World image. Let me go ahead and trash my container. Delete forever, which of course leaves my image still intact, so I can rerun it whenever. And it didn't create any volumes or anything like that. Okay, there we go. There's a real quick overview of Docker Desktop for Windows. Now remember, we're running WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux, which enables us to run Linux containers, which is great because there's way more of them, and we can manage them either here in the desktop environment or in the command line using our standard Docker CLI commands. Couple of other things just to point out real quick. If I want to upgrade my plan, I can here. This tells me my engine is running, gives me the option to pause my Docker engine, and then shows me resources that are being used by Docker, and then this will allow me to access a terminal directly within the Docker desktop. Let me go ahead and enable it. And here is my Docker terminal, Docker image, and that works great. Image ls, and there we go. We're running Docker terminal directly within the Docker desktop environment, or like you saw earlier, we can open up PowerShell and access it from there as well. Okay, there you go. A real brief introduction to Docker Desktop for Windows. Now, a couple of things to be aware of. I can run Linux containers. There are some limitations to Docker Desktop for Windows. So if you're running a production environment, you probably don't want to do this. You probably want to do Docker running on a Linux system at command line. However, if you are learning Docker, so you're creating a learning environment, or if you're doing a home lab or something like that, this does become a viable option for you. Although some people would still prefer to run it on Linux within a home lab, whichever one works for you. So there we go, an introduction to Docker Desktop for Windows.